There is no love lost between these teams, with some of the game's best players, coaches, and organizations on both sides. These intense rivalries gave the basketball world some of its most memorable moments. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we take a look at the top 10 rivalries in NBA history. And a big shout out to Pro Player for suggesting this list. We do hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, feel free to click subscribe down below for more cool videos every single day. Number 10, Celtics Pistons. A key reason Boston versus Detroit makes our list is due to some great playoff games between Larry Bird's Celtics and the bad boy Pistons. Between 1985 and 1991, Detroit and Boston met 5 times in the playoffs, with both teams known for their physical play as well as having some of the game's best players. The winner of these playoff matchups advanced to the finals each time. Detroit won the postseason series during this period 3-2. Most recently, the teams met in the 2002 semifinals and the 2008 conference finals. In both cases, Boston advanced. Number 9, Cavs Bulls. From the mid-1980s to the 1990s, Chicago dominated this series, but since the mid-2000s, the Cavs have bullied the Bulls. Though Cleveland had deep, talented teams in the 80s and 90s, they could not get past Michael Jordan's Bulls. Even with players like Brad Daugherty and Mark Price, Cleveland was 0-5 in 5 postseason series against the Bulls between 1988 and 1994. In their 88 Finals first round series, Jordan averaged 45 points, and the following year made one of the greatest game winners ever. Jump to the LeBron James era, and Cleveland has controlled this rivalry. In 2 playoff series in 2010 and 15, Cleveland ended Chicago's season on both occasions. Number 8, Heat Knicks. The golden age of this rivalry occurred in the late 90s, with these teams meeting in 4 straight postseasons between 1997 and 2000. New York won 3 out of those 4 series. After Knicks coach Pat Riley left Gotham on not the best of terms, the rivalry was sparked when he joined Miami as their coach and president in 1995. With centers Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning, the clubs had an intense rivalry. The most notable game of the 90s featured a brawl in Game 4 of the 98 playoffs.
Has been just great with his temper in the second half of the season.
There was the first punch. Neither one of them connected.
No, but it's just awful.
But it's Justin.
Recently, the LeBron James-led Heat cruised in 5 games against New York in the first round of the 2012 postseason. Number 7, Spurs Lakers. These are the 2 most dominant teams in basketball during the early 2000s. Between 1999 and 2005, the Lakers and Spurs won every NBA Finals but one, with Shaquille O'Neal and Tim Duncan battling in the low post and legendary coaches Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich leading the way. These 2 clubs own the Western Conference and the league. It was the Spurs who famously ended LA's dynasty in the 2003 West semifinals. The series' intensity has waned in recent years, and the clubs last met in the playoffs in 2013. In Dwight Howard's only playoff appearance with the Lakers, the Spurs won the opening round series in 4 games. Number 6, Spurs-Suns. The Spurs and Suns rivalry began with battles between Charles Barkley and David Robinson and culminated in the mid-2000s with the best rivalry of the decade. In 4 playoff appearances between 2003 and 8, San Antonio defeated Phoenix in 4 classic series. In the 2007 West semifinals, the most notable playoff series of this rivalry, with the series tied 2-2, Suns All-Stars Amari Stoudemire and Boris Diaw were suspended for Game 5 due to a fight the previous game. The Spurs won the next 2 games to clinch one of the most controversial series ever, but Phoenix got its revenge by sweeping the Spurs in 2010. Number 5, Pacers-Knicks. Meeting 6 times in the postseason between 1993 and 2000, the Knicks versus the Hicks rivalry has cooled in recent years, but at one time it was the best in basketball. Boiling over with New York's John Starks headbutting Reggie Miller in the 93 first round, this rivalry featured several memorable moments in the 90s. In Game 1 of the 95 East semifinals, Pacers legend Reggie Miller caught fire, famously scoring 8 points in 9 seconds and taunting Spike Lee and the Knicks faithful. In a Cinderella run to the finals in 1998, the 8th-seeded Knicks defeated 2nd-seed Indiana in the second round. Recently, Paul George's Pacers beat Carmelo Anthony's Knicks 4-2 in the 2013 East semifinals. Number 4, Bulls-Knicks. Though these teams have not met in the postseason since 1996, Chicago and New York once had one of the best rivalries in basketball. Taking a book out of Chuck Daly's Jordan Rules, Patrick Ewing's Knicks used physical play to try and stop Michael Jordan's Bulls. Unfortunately for the Knicks, between 6 postseason series from 1989 to 1996, New York only won once. A more one-sided rivalry, this matchup featured some of the game's best moments. It was at the Garden where Jordan scored 55 points in his 5th game back from his first retirement. Notable facial dunks by Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and John Starks also helped add to the mythos of this rivalry. Number 3, Pistons Bulls. The peak of this rivalry was between Isaiah Thomas's Pistons and Michael Jordan's Bulls in the late 80s. After scoring 59 points against Detroit in the 88 East semifinals, Pistons coach Chuck Daly devised the famous Jordan rules to try and contain Jordan. The physical strategy keyed in on Jordan and bothered the superstar. Add in Jordan being reportedly frozen out by Thomas in the 85 All-Star game, and the dislike was heightened in this rivalry. After Chicago defeated Detroit in the 91 Conference Finals, Thomas and Bill Laimbeer led a walkout without congratulating Chicago. The rivalry has cooled, however, and the teams last met in the playoffs back in 2007. Number 2, Celtics 76ers. The Celtics-76ers rivalry has been quiet recently, but in its heyday, these two teams had some of the best duels ever. Beginning in the 50s, when Philadelphia was still the Syracuse Nationals, Boston fell in 3 straight postseasons to the Nationals from 1954 to 1956. That was before the Celtics added Bill Russell. After moving to Philadelphia, the rivalry was renewed when Wilt Chamberlain joined the 76ers in 1963, battling Russell for conference supremacy. In the 1980s, with Larry Bird's Celtics and Julius Erving's 76ers, the team split the Eastern Conference Finals in 4 appearances. In the memorable 2002 postseason, Boston beat Philly in 5 great games in the first round. And number 1, Lakers-Celtics. Was there any doubt who would be number 1? Lakers versus Celtics is the greatest rivalry in basketball history, and arguably the best rivalry in all of sports. The two teams have met 12 times in the NBA Finals and have combined to win 33 of the league's 71 championships. With Russell and Chamberlain in the 60s, Bird and Magic in the 80s, and Pierce and Kobe in the 2000s, the rivalry has spanned decades and given us some of the greatest games ever. In their 12 championship appearances together, Boston has won the series 9 times, and it wasn't until 1985 that the Lakers finally beat the Celtics in the finals. Do you think there was an NBA rivalry we missed in our rankings? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to Total Pro Sports though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.